Business can be a lonely game, but it doesn't have to be. Welcome to Boutique Chat, where we explore community over competition and how to scale your company with the balance and the happiness that we all seek. We'll hear from product-based businesses of all types, retailers, e-commerce, and wholesale brands, along with industry experts shaping the future of our industry. I'm your host, Ashley Alderson from the Boutique Hub, and I can't wait to chat. Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast this week. I'm so happy, Ashton, that I ran into you at the Boutique Summit because I was like, girl, you've been in the hub forever. I have loved watching your growth and just your brand's evolution, and you've got to come on the podcast. So thanks for being here today.
Yes, thanks for asking me. I was so thrilled to see you, to be there. I was so excited for this.
I hadn't seen you for a hot minute, but your brand, like you've been through all these things in the last couple of years. Your brand has been growing. You've got to take me back to like the evolution of how this all started. You're someone who got in business really young. Take me back to your origin story.
Yeah, so back when I was a senior in high school, my mom and I really just wanted to do something that we could do together. We didn't know where it was going to go. We thought maybe it would be really cool if that could be something that turned into a career. But really, we were just having fun doing it together, reaching out to other like mom and daughter duos, being like, hey, I'm wearing this, she's wearing that. So that's kind of where we started, just doing like pop-ups. But I wasn't all in until 2019 when I graduated college. So honestly, all through that year, we just started doing pop-ups when we could. We moved into my grandma's basement because it was more of like a central location for people to come and shop one time a week with us, which then grew my love for a storefront. I'm like, okay, I can do this. I want to have a storefront one day. And so then we opened up our very first storefront in the summer of 2020, which is crazy, getting all that open, during the crazy time. And that's when we really saw our growth and the need for our community. We got to meet so many people, and it helped grow our online too. And then we were pushing online for in our store, which was really nice. And then from there, an app, live selling. We really have been through it all, from invoicing hundreds of people to be like, no, comment sold this, comment sold that, to live selling, and then pushing people to a website. Yeah, we've done it all.
There's been a lot of iterations and evolutions of your brand for sure. So just kind of for context, so everybody knows, like what percentage of your business right now is online versus your in-store, and what's the makeup of your team look like to support all that?
Yeah, so right now it's 50-50. 50 online. A lot comes from Facebook and then Instagram and then straight to our website. And then our storefront is 50%. We do have a full-time that helps run the store. So she's there every day through our store hours. And then we have a lady who helps with shipping and intake, which was that's like the first thing that we really gave up. We're like, okay, where can we spend our time? We're going to spend our time posting more, buying more, selling more, and someone else can come in and do the shipping and do the intake. And then we have some part-time girls that help with the store as well. Yeah.
Okay. I love that.
Oh, yes. And I'm getting ready to hire my second full-time person, which I'm really excited about. I'm finally taking that leap of faith and investing in another person full-time to help me do more of the social media, the things that I fall short on. She's going to be helping me with, which is mainly posting more like that. You stood out to some things to me at the Boutique Hub Summit. Like, you said something and it just struck me hard. You're like, if someone pulls up your social media, let's say your Instagram feed, and will they see all your new arrivals? And I was like, no, they won't, because you think in your head as a business owner that you're posting too much. I'm like, oh, I've already posted 3 times today. But yeah, if someone comes on your social media, are they even seeing like all your new arrivals, everything that you posted last week? And the answer is no, unless you're posting enough. And so we're not.
I love that you said that. I think it's such a great exercise for everybody to do. And the question is, like, if you looked at everything you posted last week, if you sold a third of what you posted, would it pay your bills? Like, where would a third of sell-through actually get you? And most people are like, like, that'd be like 2 items, like it's just not enough. So I love that you said that because honestly, when I look at your brand from the outside, just, I follow you on social media and everything, you're someone who I think has always done a great job with social and like brand building and photography. So I love that you're doubling down on that even further. I'm sure someone listening is saying, okay, well, Ashton, break this down for me. How much are you posting on social media right now? And then what's your goal to get to?
Yes. So where we have our Facebook, and that's huge. And then we have our Instagram. Lately, I have been posting to both. So when I make a post, I'm not scheduling like I should be. So it's kind of like on the fly. I'll post in the morning. I'll post when I get to work, and then I'll normally post in the evening. So that's about 3 times a day. I want it to be more like 5. Also, trying to put a reel in once a day. But what has been huge for us is making sure I'm posting it on all the platforms. So sometimes I get carried away and I'm like, oh, I posted on Instagram. I'm not going to post on Facebook. But taking that same content and making sure I'm going back to Facebook and posting it as well, and then to Instagram stories, and then to my VIP group. And it's all at different times. So it's hitting all those different people. Because I used to think, oh, I've already put that out there. But no, it's like a whole new area of people that are seeing it at different times. And, people have to see things, is it 7 times now before they buy it?
Yeah.
And that's a lot of times. So re-showing it and just putting it everywhere that you can has really made a huge difference. So yeah, I'm posting about 3-4 times a day on Instagram and about 5 times on Facebook. Yeah.
I think that's so helpful for people to hear because you're right. We always get in our own head about, oh, I'm posting too much or this is old. People have seen it. And when you look back, if you actually looked at all of your inventory and said, okay, well, how many times has this piece actually been posted anywhere? I bet you'd find a lot of zeros in your inventory.
Oh, yes.
And that screams opportunity, right? People
Yes,
aren't going to see all of it.
yeah, old try-ons. I used to only post those in the beginning when I was getting ready to like launch them. But 3 weeks later, I'm posting them again with a new link and a new saying, and people are seeing for the first time. I had no idea you had that. And I'm like, yeah, because they're probably new followers, or maybe they didn't get on social media that day and saw those new arrivals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so helpful. So something else I know that you do really well is just your launch strategy. And I know you've been kind of working on revamping this and optimizing it to fit your lifestyle and just how traffic is working for you right now. So talk to me about that. How do you build up your launch strategy and like what's your inventory flow for both like in-store and online? How do you make sure it maximizes in both places?
Yes, I love this question because, like you said, we've had to play with it over time. And I think comparison got me bad because at one time I remember thinking I was seeing all these huge boutiques. They were launching new arrivals every day. And I was like, I got to do that. I got to do that every day. But that did not work for me. And that did not work for my customer. It was too much for my customer. They didn't want to buy every day like that. It was too much for me trying to get all that content. So then I'm like, okay, well, I'll try one big launch a week. I still want to have all that inventory launched. Well, then it was too much. It was like my customers were like, no, 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 I cannot buy 50 things on one Sunday. I need you to break it down for me. So I'm like, okay, I'll try 3. Well, I'm all over the place. I'm like, okay, well, I'll do 3 separate ones. And so finally, I found that 2 is a sweet spot for me
Awesome.
and my customer. We were still releasing the same amount of inventory, but we were just breaking it into 2. So I think my goal was 60 things a week. So I was doing 30 one day, 30 another. We've had to play around with different days as well. But being consistent, once we found out what worked, we stayed consistent. And that's, I think, huge. You can't just, on a whim, like, oh, new arrivals on a Wednesday. Like, no, everybody has to know Tuesday morning, 7 a.m. we're launching. Every Friday, 7 a.m. we're launching. We order all of our inventory ahead. So then I try to like put it all out so I can see it on a rack. And then we shoot new arrivals the week before or 2 weeks before. And that's when we start our first initial sneak peeks. And that has been huge for us. I used to be like, oh, it's too early. I don't want to spoil it for people. I don't want people asking me about it. But when they ask you, it helps your engagement and it helps that FOMO and it helps them be like, I want that. And it helps me too. It makes me excited. So that's when we started. Our inventory is the same. So we have the same inventory for our storefront and for our website. That just works for us for now. And for our storefront, the girls will still pull like one small or two small of every size and put it on the floor the day that we launch it. And we keep all the rest of the inventory in the back, and we always pull from the back first for our online sales.
Okay,
Yeah.
so break that down for me one more time. So everything stays in the back. You just
Yes.
pull up one or two smalls and put those in the storefront. And then your sales team in the store knows that if someone's looking at something, hey, we may have more sizes in the back, but if you like something, let me know and I'll go look for you.
Yes. Yes. And we started
Okay.
doing restock sheets. So if in a few days,
Mhm.
we still have sizes in the back from online, then we put them in the storefront. One thing I would love to say to people, if you have a storefront, I just say we serve the customer in the storefront first. So
Okay.
if there's only one left and they want it and we think it might sell online, we're gonna give it to the person in the store. Those
Yeah.
people are there, they're tangible, they want that extra treatment, and so we really take a lot of pride in our storefront girls and our online girls. But we'll give the inventory to the storefront first if we can.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, that's really helpful to know. So then how else are you building up, like, tell me more about your process of building up FOMO into these launches? Because I think a lot of people miss, this is a really important step in the process. A lot of people miss it and overlook it and think like, oh, it's just too much. But you've got to build
Yes.
that FOMO. That's how women work.
Yes, so unboxings are huge for us. If I
Okay.
can video me unboxing something and I say this is launching in 2 weeks, and then I show it again when I'm doing the pictures and I'm like, okay, now it's launching in a week. And then I make a reel and I show it 4 days before and it's
Yeah.
launched in 4 days. I mean, the people who are messaging us is just crazy. And I feel like that's what I've really done the last month or two. And it's just been amazing. Like we're selling out of stuff again, and it is just making my heart so happy.
That's so good. And what an opportunity for customer service you have. Because you can
Yeah.
come back and be like, hey, Jenna, I know you were looking for this. I know you messaged it. Guess what? It just launched. Here it is. And make people feel so special. You could also
Yes.
do suggestive selling at the same time. Like, hey, I know you love this. And by the way, did you also see X, Y, and Z? Like,
Yes.
what an opportunity online.
And we've started like a little kind of like a text list, which
Okay.
makes people feel even better if they are in the store. They're like, yes,
Yeah.
I'll give you my phone number. And then either me or a girl at the store is personally texting them, like you said, being, hey, Lisa, this just restocked. Do you want it? Hurry before it sells out again. And they have just been loving that.
That's so good. So you've clearly, for the last several years, to get you to this point where your brand can like iterate and do all these things. I mean, you've really focused on building relationships and building community. Has that always been like a focus or a strategy, or how would you go back and like reverse engineer the way that you've built your community?
Yes, because we've always showed up on social media. I think it actually
Mhm.
helped us having social media first, and then bringing in the store. We didn't have another option where I was in high school and I was going to college, and we didn't have money to go buy a storefront yet or rent from a storefront. And so just really showing up on social media with lives, with my face, I think you being in the picture and you showing up daily is just huge. People trust you, they build those relationships, and that has followed us. Like, that is just something I'm super proud of that we've always done, and it has paid off. People know who they're shopping with, and they get to see me be excited about the clothes. And that is one thing I think that is so funny too. My mom was saying, you can tell when you don't like the clothes. I'm like, you're right. So we really shifted our mindset to we're only buying things that we love. Used to, once again, a comparison game, we thought we had to buy things that other people were selling and that other people were going to like instead of staying true to our customer. And our customer is me. It's
Mhm.
what I love. It's what my friends love. It's what people in our community love. We're a small town girl who loves to look cute, chasing kids, or going to work, or a day night out with her husband. And so once we hit that, it has just been game changer too, because then I'm excited about the clothes. I'm going to show the clothes more. I'm going to hype them up more,
Yeah.
and people can tell.
You know what's funny? I think that, like, what you just said is my favorite part of what's happening to the boutique industry right now. Because I think we went through a period of time, and I mean, you've been around, you know this, you've probably seen this, where I felt like everybody wanted to be like who they thought the big boutiques were. And
Yeah.
everyone started to do the same thing and buy the same thing and post the same way and do the exact same live sale or not do the live sale. But everyone just became kind of like robots looking like one another. And what I see happening in our industry right now is there's a lot of shift and there's challenge for the first time. And that has caused everybody to really like reevaluate, who am I? Who's my customer? Who do I want to be? How do I want this to feel? And what does success look like for me? And that's where the success is coming from. And I know you had mentioned to me that you've been through some highs and lows. You've had some tough years recently, and now you're in a year that's going to be a record setting year for you. Do you feel like it's because of what you just said? Like you've doubled down on who you are and who you want your brand to be?
Yes, 100%. I know some people say sometimes you have to like ignore the hard stuff. And it's not really that you're ignoring it, it's that you're taking it and you're saying, okay, what can I do next? What can I do
Mm-hmm.
to make this better? You know, my customers maybe not be coming in the store. So then I'm going to blast it all over social media for them and on every social media platform because there are people that don't have Instagram, that don't have Facebook. You know, that's why we think it's important to have an app. You have your website people and then you have your app people. We were just talking yesterday, like, you know, all these different apps. I am a website person. I'm not an app person. I still go to Safari and I still type in the website. But then I know I have friends, they're like, no, yes, I'm getting on the app, Target app, or, you know, Chick-fil-A app, Starbucks app. Like that's where they're ordering from. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to type it in. But yeah, staying true to what our customers want, what we want, what makes us happy, our brands, like that has been, that's what's, we can tell, you know, the surrounding towns and everything. That's what set us apart is that we've just stayed in our lane, just pushed
Mhm.
forward to what we love and what our customers love.
Yeah, so good. It's here. It's time. Are you ready to start planning 2025? Well, you might have your own day planner. You might have a Google Calendar, but let me tell you, I love planning with the official Boutique Boss Planner. The Boutique Boss Planner is a day planner that we created here at the Boutique Hub several years ago, created by boutique owners for boutique owners, and it's more than a day planner. Inside of the Boutique Boss Planner is not only your opportunity to operate with a normal day planner with your hours and your time blocks, but it's also a boutique owner's go-to resource. Inside, there's inventory tracking, social media tracking, monthly reminders and to-do lists, all kinds of information on how to host a month in review to really track what worked and what didn't in your business this month, but also a planning sheet on how to get ready for the next month in your business. Even if you're going to market, even if you're getting ready for social media content, there's tools, tips, and ideas and checklists to keep you on track and organized all year long inside of the Boutique Boss Planner. So check out the link in the show notes for access to the 2025 Boutique Boss Planner or visit boutiquebossstore.com. The other thing you've done really well in that journey is your photography. Like
Yeah.
you have demonstrated exactly who you are, but then you photograph it really well and you merchandise it really well. And I think that's a missing
Thank you.
piece for so many people. Like they don't know how to translate the online experience in store and the in-store experience online. It's got to be such a mirror. So I would love to hear your photography tips. How do you do
Yeah.
it? How do you make it look so good?
Yes, well, thank you.
Yeah.
I wish we had some big, grand, like, place to do pictures. We never have.
Huh.
We've never had a studio, so we have always went to, it's really been my house. I've done a lot of pictures on my front porch. So I'm taking all the photo shoot stuff, putting it in my car, and I'm
Yeah.
bringing it to my front porch. And we shoot all of our stuff as far out as we can. It takes us about 4 to 5 hours, and I do everything on my iPhone. I do have the iPhone for, I want to make sure I have cinematic video too. That's been huge for us.
Okay.
Really quality like videos. But then I'm just using portrait mode and a self timer and then Lightroom to edit. And it
Perfect.
works. Yeah.
It works. And then what about the merchandising? Like you said, I think you pull everything 2 weeks ahead of time so you kind of know what's coming. And then do you
Yes.
find yourself also pulling like an aging report and looking at, okay, I've got this, but it hasn't moved to a certain percentage. What do I
Yes.
re-pull and reshoot at that same time?
Yes. So that is something that we really started last fall is a markdown strategy.
Mhm.
So every 4 weeks we restyle. Every 6 weeks we make a hard markdown. And that has been huge for us to be able to get that stuff out
Mhm.
and then have money to get new stuff in. Our customers are all about the new. They don't even care most of the time if we run any sales. So ads has really helped with getting rid of our sales stuff, which is really interesting to us. Our new customers and like the people who love sales are from ads. Our loyal customers are the girlies who love the new stuff. They always are looking forward to the next thing.
Yeah.
And then, yes, so we buy out. And what works for us, and really now with our vendors, is we have to buy out pretty far ahead.
Mhm.
So right now we probably have, oh man, like 200 styles of fall inventory right now, which is awesome for me looking ahead because I already know what's going to be my next new arrivals for the next month or two. And so now I will take that and I will make my collections and get all the pieces together, the jeans. I'm doing jewelry now, the shoes, what models will wear what. And that's how we will style it and merchandise it.
That's so helpful to hear. And I think that's also another way our industry has kind of been changing. You know, you used to get immediates, and immediates were so easy to come by. And anymore, it's really not. Like, you've got to be a better planner and you have to know how to budget your money for those future
Yes.
investments. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on the good stuff.
Yeah.
It's all going to be gone and you're going to be left with the leftovers. So, I mean, the money management, the inventory management, talk to me about that process for you.
Yes. So now that we're working with Management One,
Hmm.
we noticed we weren't buying enough. And I think that's something that you do have to switch. So if you are not number savvy, I think it's okay, but I think you have to find someone who is. You
Yeah.
know, you can be great at doing other things, but then, like you've always said, you have to hire the rest. You've got to hire someone to tell you what you need to know, help you keep up with your money, tell you to buy more, tell you it's okay to buy more. I love Management One because sometimes you just need someone to tell you that you're doing a good job and that you're ready to take the next step. And that was our first meeting, and they were like, "You all got it. You can do this. You can invest your money in this to be able to, sell that much more." And so that's what we've been doing. We've got our categories, we've got our classes.
Okay.
Dresses was huge, so they're like, okay, let's go heavy in dresses this fall. These pants that you guys are selling, let's go heavy in these pants that you're selling. We really worked in with our ads. So I mean, crazy enough, if you're going to run an ad on something, you need the inventory for it. Who knew? You know? And so we had these like best selling pants and we kept selling out and we were running ads on them. And they were like, okay, then go deeper in your ads because really you're just hurting yourself when you're spending money and you're getting people there and then it's gone.
Yeah.
And so that has been game changer for us. We've got these pants and we're selling every color that we can and all the styles and we just keep that ad and we just update the pictures with the new colors and the new, if it's a different season now, we're just switching out those pictures and we're just pushing that really hard.
Yeah, so smart. And honestly, that's a common mistake. So when you
Yeah.
say that, like, don't feel bad because I hear a lot of people going, "Oh, I didn't even think about that." But it is.
Yeah.
It's a huge loss if you are running ads to things you just don't have.
Yes.
So you have been through so many different seasons, from starting in high school to being through college to having your first child and then your second child and opening a storefront. Like, there's been all these different seasons. And now, I mean, I look at you and you're a mom of two and you're balancing all these things. What's your best advice to others listening about just how to do all the things? How do you keep the things juggling that you do?
Yeah. I am so thankful. This job allows you to do things that you love. And
Mhm.
so finding someone that you can trust with some of those responsibilities has been huge. So
Yeah.
about 3 years ago, I hired my right hand girl, and she has just been game changer for me. It's allowed me to step back from the storefront, and my customers love her too. And I think it takes time. You might have to go through some people that aren't going to be that right hand person. But if you can take the time to find who that's going to be and then allow yourself to step back. And then what happens is then you're more motivated and you're more excited to do the things that you love because you can let those things that you don't love go to someone else and just really hone in on what you're excited about. And that's what I did. I was
Mhm.
able to enjoy a new baby and have a storefront and run online because I was taking that time to do the things that I loved and gave everything else away.
Yeah. All my retail boot campers are going, do what you do best and hire the rest. It's like a broken
Yes, I've
record.
always heard that. Yes, from you. And I've always said that. It's just right there.
Yeah, perfect. You're doing it well. Good job. All
Yes.
right, let's do some lightning round questions, all right?
Okay.
All right. So, first question, I give you 2 hours back in your day for you to focus on just income generating activity. What do you choose to focus on?
Videos.
Hmm.
Making video content. Yes.
Yes, huge.
Yeah.
All right. What are the unsexiest processes in your business that have the biggest impact on your business?
Expenses and knowing where your money is going and how you're spending it.
Yes. How about like are there tools or apps you feel like the things that you're like day to day back into the business that you're like, oh, these have made my life so much easier?
My mom. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. She was like, if you didn't have me, you'd have to have a bookkeeper, and a CPA. And I'm like, you're right, because
Yeah.
I'm still learning that stuff. I gave that stuff up. She
Yeah.
does all of that.
Well, I think that's the beautiful part about, just like you said, if you don't know the numbers, you have to find somebody who does, right? So every retailer has the creative side of your brain and then the analytical, and we're strong in one and generally probably not both. So you've got to
Yeah.
find somebody who balances you out. So, so good. Everyone needs a mom like that. I love it.
Yes.
All right. What's the hardest business lesson you've had to learn?
That not everyone is for you. Honestly, like, if you're trying to cater to other people, then you're going to fail. Like, you have to stay true to your customer and to you. And the moment that's when bad buys happen. You're buying inventory to suit someone that isn't your customer. And just because you saw someone else doing it, and then here you are, we've had the bad buys. We've bought the really expensive shoes we thought we could sell, and we're still paying for it. But that was a hard lesson for me. Is just
Yeah.
I can't be everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. One of my good friends always says this, and she goes, you know, Ashley, I can't be everyone's cup of tea, but I can be somebody's shot of whiskey.
Yes.
I'm like,
Yes.
oh, yeah. And she truly is a shot of whiskey, if you knew this
Oh, I
girl.
love
So,
that.
so good. Okay. How do you set boundaries for yourself and for your family?
Yes. Boundaries has been me leaving the store at 3 or 4 every single day that I can. Coming home, me being able to go pick up my kids, come home, make dinner has been huge for me. I had to sacrifice that time at the store, but ultimately just being transparent with my customers, they understood that. And they were like, you know what? You go, girl. Like,
Yeah.
you're a mom first, then you're a business owner. I'm
Yeah.
a wife first, a mom first, and then I'm a business owner. And my customers get that, and they wouldn't expect anything else. And that is a huge blessing.
Yeah. Oh, that's so powerful. That's so powerful. We can all take that away for sure. Um, okay, what is one metric in business that you live by? A metric that you always have to know what that metric is.
I want to say sales. We have, because we're so like numbers driven. I'm checking like every day, like our daily sales.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that also goes like making sure I'm launching enough new arrivals. Sorry, I don't know. This is
Yeah,
a hard question
that's
because
okay.
it kind of is like it all kind of goes like to hit this, you have to have this, this, and this, and this.
Yeah, sales work when you have all the other metrics that work into it. So totally makes sense. So I'm going to flip the question then and just say, what's one metric that you are committed to learning more about that's not there yet? What's the metric you want to know more about?
Yeah. I want to know more about probably our conversion rates. Yeah, our conversion rates to our website. Because through our ads, we actually realized that our search engine was a huge tool that we could be using, and seeing why we weren't getting those conversions because people were searching for things and not finding them. And we might have had them, but like we didn't have the right tags. Like if they search, like this is an example, if they search Buddy Love and they separated it, but in our title we had it together,
Yes.
then they weren't finding it at all. And they were like, well, they don't have it then. I saw that picture and I thought that was Buddy Love, but and they weren't checking out. And we had a ton of things like that. And now we're switching them and tagging them different. So when people type in one thing, they might, they're definitely going to find the answer. But that was really big for us.
That is really big. And that's an easy, quick win for anyone who's listening to be able to go in and just look at that and look in your analytics to see what are people searching for and not finding. So that's really helpful. All right, last quick question. What's your best advice for retailers who are listening?
Find out who your customer is and run with it. I mean, I think because you find your brand, you find your customer, you find what makes you happy. It all goes in together with who your customer is. Yeah. And that's going to make your business shine and stand out and thrive.
Yeah. Oh, that is it for sure. That's what the most successful stores right now have in common for sure. Yeah. So well done. All right. Well, this time has flown by. I just have to say thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. I do have one last question, of course, before we wrap up, because this is always the big question, right? Like, you've been in this business for 8 years, which is incredible. Like, I love the story and all the evolutions of your brand so far. But let's fast forward 30 years down the road, and you've got these beautiful kids. Maybe you've got grandbabies, and you're sitting on the front porch with all of them, and going through just how you've lived this life so far and the journey you've been on and the businesses you've built. What's the thing that you want them to remember the most about you?
I want them to look at my life and say, man, she loved her job. She loved her kids. She loved the Lord. And through all of that, she loved people. I love people. And I hope that one day people remember me for that.
So good. Ashton, thanks so much for your time. It's so good to see you. And I can't wait to hear where everything goes next. Congrats on all your success so far.
Thank you so much. This has been such an honor.
Thanks for listening, guys. I hope you took away all kinds of nuggets and new ideas from this week's episode. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a rating and review. We love to hear your feedback and give you a chance to be featured on the show each and every week. For more information on our spirit of community over competition and to access guest downloads and bonuses and all the resources we talked about on the show, head on over to theboutiquehub.com and join the community. We'll see you next week.